Sošo oziroma širša okolica Sošoja je v kar 70% povezana z znamko Peugeot. In tukaj ni nič nenavadnega, če greš v restauracijo in na stenah visijo Peugeotovi znaki, da imajo gostje pri sosednji mizi oblečene Peugeotove majice, da se peleš mimo osnovne šole Armanda Peugeota in da pred mestno upravo stoji kip Emila Peugeota. Ampak nismo v Sošoju, tam, kjer ima Peugeot avtomobilsko tovarno z najdaljšim neprekinjenim časom delovanja, smo v 6 km oddaljenem mestecu Valentigney. In tukaj, prav v tem majhnem francoskem mestecu, se je začela francoska motorizacija. In kot so se vsi največji dogodki v zgodovini zgodili s sestankom, tudi francoska motorizacija se je začela s sestankom 3 takratnih največjih industrialcev.
Armand Peugeot decides to produce the 3 kinds of cycle, the Grand B, the 3 cycle and the 2 cycle. But he wants to make a vehicle which will be able to move by himself, an automobile. And the first Peugeot was built, the first automobile Peugeot was present in 1889 in the World Exhibition of Paris. He meets Émile Levasseur and Gottlieb Daimler. And he decides to make a meeting in his house of Valentigney, just near here. And it's the first time of the 3 grand persons of automobile to speak about this new kind of transport.
And this meeting resulted in some kind of association?
Not an association, but a discussion. And Armand Peugeot saw Daimler motorization and decides to use that for the future Peugeot car. And he invents a new kind of chassis, like this one, with a tubular chassis, like if you have 2 bicycles, and he put the motorization here, in the rear part of car. And the first patent of Peugeot for the automobile was this gearbox. And very quickly, Armand Peugeot was independent to Daimler and invent his motorization. It's more small, but more efficient like the German motorization. And this one can produce 4 horsepower. The Daimler motorization was 1.5 horsepower. The most interesting car in the very beginning of the 20th century is this one, with the very little motor engine Peugeot. And if you want, you can convert the car. It's a vis-a-vis, but you can transform it to bypass in 4 seats.
How did they drove it if the people were looking in front?
This seat is so high, and normally this place was for the child. You can see higher.
So this was the steering wheel, this was the gearbox. I'm missing the clutch.
Yeah, you have embrayage and acceleration, and the brake.
This was acceleration.
This one.
Aha, this was.
And you heard?
This is the clutch. This is the acceleration.
Yeah,
and this. And then you. Wow. How many gears were here?
How many?
3.
3 and reverse, and 1 reverse.
Letošnje leto, se pravi leta 2022, svojo 50. obletnico praznuje mali Peugeot 104, se pravi eden prvih tistih nekako novodobnih Peugeotovih malčkov. No, 90 let pa je star tale lepotec, gre za 301 coupe in gre za zmagovalni avtomobil. Avgusta leta 1932 je ta avtomobil najhitreje premagal alpske prelaze in Peugeot ga je takrat odel v takšno zeleno barvo, v 2 različnih odtenkih zelene. Zelena barva je pa seveda tudi tista prva lansirna barva pri modelu 308 in zakaj ne bi Peugeot v znak tele 90. obletnice nove Peugeot 308 obdal ravno tako v takšno zeleno barvo. So we say here with the push of a button
It's a possibility to open the hardtop, but when you go out with this car on the street, all people want to saw how function this car, and very quickly you used the battery.
Because of the up and down.
Yeah.
Is this functioning? No.
Today, no.
No.
Only 22 cars was like this one was built, and we know one in the world today, this one.
No, zdaj, ko stopamo v obdobje elektromobilnosti, marsikatera avtomobilska znamka rada poudari, da se električni pogon ni tako zelo nova zadeva. Da smo že pred okoli 100 leti imeli avtomobile, ki jih je poganjal baterijski električni pogon. No, Piskarček seveda predstavlja tudi Peugeot in pravi, da je že leta 1941 ponudil avtomobil, ki je imel 4 12-voltne baterije, je lahko vozil na elektriko 35 km/h in pa 80 km je imel električnega baterijskega dosega. Presenetljiv podatek pa je to, da Peugeot pravi, da je bil s tem avtomobilom prvi.
This is electric, and it's the first car produced in series by an industrial. It's the VLV, Véhicule Léger de Ville. It was produced during the Second World War because we don't have some gasoline, and Peugeot decided to make a production of electric car because it's necessary.
This is not the first electric, it's the first electric in large scale.
Yeah. Because in first time, in the end of the 19th century, you have electric car. But the first production was this one.
So how much time did you need to charge these batteries?
To charge?
Yeah.
One night.
One night?
One night it charged.
No, ta oddelek na tem mestu pa ima pri meni kar malce posebno mesto, namreč kar malce nostalgičen postajam. Zaradi tega, ker s takšnim kabrioletom sem pred okoli 15 leti tukaj po Šošoju naredil nekaj kilometrov. Takrat sem videl, da so bili vsi tele avtomobili prijetni za vožnjo in bi lahko tudi danes shajajo v vsakdanjem prometu. In tretja je zdaj, smo rekli, tja.
Sam dol. Tako.
Četrta pa je zdaj.
Pa na sredo, pa od sebe. Tako, evo.
Pa četrta. Wow! Veš, da sem prehiter. Pelem 60, namesto 50.
Kastelje, če si se 80 pelje, bo že kar navaren.
Ja. Posebej mi je bil všeč tale 404, marsikateri afriški taksist še danes uporablja takšne limuzinske verzije 404. Ta Pininfarina verzija je seveda bila primerna bolj za tisto elito. Ampak danes smo v tem muzeju zaradi tega avtomobila. Namreč tukaj postane očitno, kako zelo drugačni so današnji karavani. Poglejte samo tega 404, kako zelo škatlast je. Je pa posebnost tega avtomobila, da je imel prostora za 6 potnikov. Vseeno pa to ne pomeni, da novi Peugeotovi karavani niso ostrih linij. Namreč, poglejte, kako je zelo nasesekljan ta zadek tega novega 308 SV-ja, ampak vse te ostre linije na tem zadku imajo neko drugo funkcijo tukaj. In tukaj so v funkciji aerodinamike. Vsekakor pa ta novi Peugeot paše v to okolje, ki je povsem prežeto s Peugeotovo zgodovino, namreč tukaj v tem ateljeju restaurirajo stare Peugeote in v tisti delavnici tam shranjuje dele za vse možne stare Peugeote. Namreč tudi na tem novem Peugeotu najdemo elemente Peugeotove zgodovine. To je retro.
It's the old Lion of Peugeot. The inspiration of the new Lion's Peugeot, it was printed on the box of spare parts during the years 1978-9.
1978. Ampak Peugeotov lev je bistveno starejši kot pa Peugeotovi avtomobili.
We began with the tools. All saw blade in the world was built with the patent invented by Peugeot. The Lion Peugeot is consequence of this invention because the lion represents the best production of Peugeot of the very beginning of the 19th century, and all Peugeot was known by this lion, and we use the lion for all tools, culinary arts, cycle, motorcycle, and automobile.
Do you have a sample of this saw blade?
Yeah. For this example, the invention of Peugeot is this part was made like this one, and when you cut the wood, this part don't block
Either.
in the wood, and a saw blade is very quick, like a lion. The saw blade is very strong and flexible, like the backbones of lion when you jump, and this teeth of saw blade was very sharp, like the teeth of lion.
No danes Peugeotci ne prodajajo več krinolin z levčkom. Tudi žage v Sloveniji še nismo opazili. Lahko pa najdete mlinčke z levjimi zobmi, da z njim zmeljete tisto vsakdanjo pikantno začimbo. Ampak tudi pri avtomobilih Peugeot še danes rad dela kaj po svoje. Primer je recimo iCockpit. Zakaj že gre? Naj vam povedo kar testni vozniki iz vrst gledalcev avtomobilnosti. S vašim naslednjim klikom.